live from Escondido on a very exhausting day, but a very super fantastic sparkling day. It has been an incredible day, and I'm sorry I'm on 30 minutes earlier than normal, but I am so tired right now. I know I have to do stuff this evening in preparation for Sparkles going in for servicing tomorrow, and I'm just like, I'm thinking I'm going to head to bed now. Just set my alarm for earlier in the morning, and that way I can get up and have a couple hours getting everything done and put away. And I probably will do that because with how tired I am right now, there is just no way I even have the energy to even take out the trash. Go figure. So this morning started bright and early. We got Zephy over to the dog sitters. Got there just after 7 o'clock, and she's actually having her first sleepover. So it's my first night without Zephy since the 16th of November. I walked in, and the place where her crates sit, of course, is not there. So there's this big empty space, and I'm like, it's fine. She's fine. Everything's fine. They're great people. She loves being over there. She loves playing with the other dogs. But I won't pick her up till probably around 5 o'clock tomorrow, based on when I get Sparkles back, because Sparkles goes in for servicing tomorrow morning, dropping her off at 8 o'clock when they open, and letting them know that I have to have it back that day. And they're just doing a pre-trip checkup, like doing oil changes, filter changes, lubes, checking tire pressure, liquids, checking all the fluids and all that sort of stuff, and everything that needs to be done. So hopefully it won't take them too long. But yeah, so then after I get Sparkles back here at the campground, then I'll go pick up Zephy. So she's having her first sleepover. But then I got on the road and went up to Santa Clarita. Brad's best friend since the age of 11, they've been best friends since they were 11, is turning 60 this coming week, and he had his birthday celebration today. And it was really good to catch up with him, catch up with his family, catch up with some of the friends of his that I know. Two of the boys came up as well, so Chris and Ash were there, and Josh was there. So it was just an awesome day catching up with everybody, getting caught up on all the family news and everything, because it's been a while since I have seen any of them. But it was a very rewarding day. Yummy birthday cake, and I have to tell you about my eggs Benedict, because that was going from 10 to 2, and we had like a brunch. I ordered the eggs Benedict, and they came out with the fried potatoes. But of course I had to make mine special because the other ones had onions in. So they had onions, bell peppers, and the potatoes. So as soon as I get the plate, pull those bell peppers out, because I didn't realize they had bell peppers in there. But I just said, whatever you put on the plate, please make sure there's no onions, because we have an allergic reaction to that. And they're like, okay. But they bring them out. These croissants were like about this big. They were huge, and they were the lightest, flakiest, butteriest, yummiest croissants I have ever had. And they used the base to put the eggs in there and they used real bacon. They used bacon instead of Canadian bacon. So they put the bacon in there. They put the eggs in there. The hollandaise sauce was in there. They had spinach in there as well. Then they put the other half of the croissant on top. So it was almost like an eggs Benedict croissant sandwich. It was yum, so good. And that I actually took the top off the croissant so I could eat the rest of it with a knife and fork. And then I sat there and just enjoyed this top half of this croissant. It was so flaky and so buttery. It was divine. It was amazing. The cake was pretty good. All, of course, Disney themed, because Mike and Rhonda are just huge Disney nuts. In fact, for their wedding present, Brad and I got them a Disney cell, one of those cartoon cells that had Mickey and Minnie on there with a map of Disneyland, I think, if I remember correctly. But I definitely have Mickey and Minnie on there. And I don't have the cake pops with me. And then they had these cake pops, and one of them had Mike's initials on them, and the other one had 60 on them. So the Minnie Mouse ones had 60 with them, looked like little Minnie Mouses, and then and it was just the head portion, so just the head portion. And then they had the Mickey Mouse one had his initials on it, and the Minnie Mouse had the 60 on it. Really cute, very well done. Great location. We're at a country club up there in Santa Clarita, and we had one wall the doors was all folded back, open air. You could walk out onto this beautiful lanai area and just overlooked the golf course. It was a gorgeous view, great day, got a little windy, but that's okay. it was just a lot of fun. And then after there, I went up to my late mother-in-law's place because I was meeting my brother-in-law up there to pick up some stuff that I had there. And he said, "I'll just take a look around, make sure that there's nothing else that you want, or that you've missed anything." And so we went into the room that we'd used as an office, and there was a trunk standing on its end beside the desk, and I couldn't get it out, so we had to wait for Chris and Ash and Josh to come up so we could get them to help haul it, or get the guys to help haul it out, because it was heavy. And so we hauled it out, and the thing was locked. I was like, damn. So we ended up breaking the lock on the thing, opening it up. Oh my gosh, I don't know, my heart just started going because in there was family Bibles from my mother-in-law's side of the family. There were all these photographs in there from her side of the family. It was like this, I'm just like drooling. I'm like, oh my gosh. And people are going, what is it? And I said, oh my gosh, this is like a this is like a treasure trove. And they're like, treasure trove? And all they can see is just these books and stuff. And I'm like, no, a genealogy treasure trove. And there were albums in there. There was even a binder that had a handwritten letter that one of the kids' great grandfather's sisters had written about her account growing up. It was a little hard to read because it's in the old-fashioned cursive, and sometimes that can be a little difficult to try and translate, but I got the gist of it. But it mentioned different family members and all of that, and then it had tabs, and it said yellow book index, and there was a yellow photo album there that had like 3 pictures across each page. Turn up, there's another 3 pictures, but underneath each picture was written the person's name. But they had this index there, and on some of them they had little comments next to the index. Oh, I totally forgot to scan that. And then they had this little blue book that would have a photo on each page, again with the people's names written in them, but the index had a little more information on that. And then they had this stack of photographs that was just had a rubber band around it. And as you went through the photographs, you could match it up with the index that was written in this binder. It was like, oh, I just had so much fun. We had a lot of fun. And then there was my mother-in-law's grandfather's Bible, his Bible. It was big. It was this old leather thing, brittle pages, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I had the cotton gloves, because I didn't want to get the oil on the page. So I just did a very quick look in there, but it wasn't one of the. It had in there a marriage certificate. Yeah, it had a marriage certificate in there, but it didn't have the pages that have all the information, the family tree information on it that we could see. And I would like to get cotton gloves on next time to go up there and actually search a little more without touching the pages too much. But it was sort of like, oh, this is great. So I have a scanner app on my phone. So I went through the little blue album and the yellow album and quickly scanned every photograph in there because it's got all the names written underneath. So I can take time to go back and look at that later. So yeah, I definitely want to get back into that trunk and the stuff that's in that trunk and update the family tree with more information and put little stories and stuff in there and that sort of thing. But it was sort of like, oh, it was, I was definitely in heaven on that one. It was, yeah. So anybody who knows genealogy, understands genealogy, has a love for genealogy, you totally get how this trunk was a treasure trove. It was awesome. I just wish I could have packed up the trunk and taken it with me so I had time to sit down and go through it. But then it's sort of like, I'm going on the road on Thursday for 7 months. I'm not going to have a chance to go through it. So hopefully we'll be able to have a look at when we get back, be able to arrange some time to have some time with the material and go through it even more and in more detail instead of the quick, I think 30-40 minutes that I had today with it. But I was just in my element. The kids are like walking all over the house and checking out things and all of that sort of thing, and I'm just like, oh, this is great. Oh my gosh, there's this is their great grandfather when he was a baby. This is their great grandfather, and it was awesome. Absolutely loved finding that box. And we actually thought it was a trunk that had stuff for Brad, of Brad's in it, because that's what Brad always thought. Oh, that's my trunk over there. It's got stuff in there from when I was a kid, and I thought that's what was in there. So of course, when we opened it, and it wasn't Brad's stuff, and it was all this genealogy stuff from my mother-in-law's side of the family. It was like, oh, I mean, it's still giving me goosebumps about that. And then so I finally had to put everything away because I had to get back down here. I could have easily just sat there and spent the entire night going through all of that stuff. but I'm glad I was able to quickly, with the app on my phone, to quickly just scan the pictures that I got to scan 250 pictures, I think it was. I know one album had 100 and hang on, bringing it up here, 168 pictures I got to scan. Yeah, one album had 106 in it, and the other one, 168 pictures I got to scan. So it was, but it was like, oh, this is so cool. It really was a treasure chest. And then on the way up, I listened to a book that I can't remember the name of, and I totally forgot to put it in the thing. We'll talk about one tomorrow. But on the way back, I thought I want to listen to something different. And so I had a look through my audiobooks to see what I had downloaded on my phone already. And there was one there called Top Gun: An American Story. And I thought, oh, Top Gun. I like fighter jets. Oh. So it's sort of like, heart palpitations on top of heart palpitations. And so this book is called Top Gun: An American Story by Dan Peterson. And Dan Peterson was the founder of the Top Gun program. So I thought, well, this is going to be interesting. Oh my gosh, it is really cool. I'm already up to chapter 7 in this thing. So I listened to it for the 2-hour drive that I had from LA back down to here. It only took me 2 hours. It was pretty cool. I did have a bathroom break in the middle, but basically 2 hours and clear roads. Must have been something on today, but there were clear roads. I mean, even going north was empty. And normally if I'm traveling south on a Sunday, the roads going north are just packed. But didn't come across any traffic issues on the way up or on the way back. So it was pretty cool. And, oh, that's right, Super Bowl was on today. Totally. See how out of touch I am with sports these days. But it was so far I'm up to chapter 7. It is a great listen because it's on audio. But the audio even comes with a PDF file that you can download, and it's got photographs in there. So I'm going to go download that later on. But just talking about his career, how he got started in his career as a fighter pilot, and some of the planes that he got to fly, some of the people, and he even brought up Fast and Furious, about how the movie Fast and Furious talks about the underground car racing and drag racing and stuff that would go on. And he said, around California at that time, they had the abandoned airfields that they would use for the car racing and stuff. He says, like in that movie Fast and Furious. But then what they did is they have this area out offshore, San Clemente Islands. I can't remember the designation for it. But they would, through the underground network, you would hear these little whispers, and you hear this little, and because it's all done by word of mouth. So you heard about these little whispers where they do the similar thing, but with planes, with the fighter jet, with the jets and stuff. And this was at the time when the government decided that they were not having any guns on the planes. They would only have the missiles, because they figured they could get more flight time out of the planes if they weren't having to dogfight. And of course, this is the age, it was just before Vietnam, after Korea and before Vietnam, so in between that time frame, where they decided to remove the guns off the planes and just have the missiles on there. And then of course they're doing these things where they go up into the air and they basically find the dot, aim the dot, and send the missiles off. And they weren't learning any dogfighting techniques or anything like that, because that put too much strain on the planes, and they figured that after X number of flying hours, they had to then switch the planes out and all this sort of stuff. And so he decided he wasn't going to, you got to learn how to dogfight. And so they would go out there, and he went through the whole drill about how you would engage somebody and how the dogfight would go and all this sort of practices. They had their hard deck and everything. And so it was really interesting listening to that. And even as he's talking about the things, he's even giving you lessons for life about how the fact that, the reason he became such a good pilot, and the only way he knew he was going to become a good pilot, was getting the practice in. He says, you got to practice. He said, if you want to be really good at something, you have to practice. And so he was talking about these dogfights that he would do and everything else. And it's just a really, really cool story. And this is all before the Top Gun program started. and they were like trying different things. And of course, they would may meet up with the person that they were dogfighting with, and over a drink in a bar, just the two of them would have a conversation about the fight, or otherwise you wouldn't see that pilot again. And there was different signals to, and you're like, you wiggle your wings to show that, okay, I concede. So yes, they got to learn different things and learn this was the crazy part. If they wanted to go for a fly, they just go down and get a plane and hop on it, and off they go. And I'm just like, what? There was no like flying stuff. The commanding officer just wanted them to get in the plane and get their hours in the planes, get stick time, and so he would just they would just, if they wanted to go for a flight, and like he said, one weekend he had a wedding to go to in Phoenix, so he just went and checked out the fighter jet and flew it to Phoenix. Some weekends he would do like a cross country thing, like he'd fly across to Texas or Oklahoma and back again, and try out different things in the plane on the flight over there and the flight back, and this was the crazy stuff. They just go sign out a plane and off they go flying and get their hours in, and it was, and I was just like, oh, man. And today they probably have like a whole bunch of paperwork they have to do and flight plans they have to log and all of that sort of stuff, and it's just very, very different times with the fighter jets coming in and that sort of thing. So really interesting book, absolutely enjoying listening to it. So I can't wait to get back and listen to some more. I may put my headphones on tomorrow morning while I'm packing up the van, getting sparkles ready to go, like doing the final pack of everything. Although I may still go and pack up some stuff before I head to bed. But I'm definitely getting an early night tonight, and I'm going to get an early start tomorrow because I've got to do the trips to the storage unit tomorrow. I've got stuff that needs to go into my lockers. I have stuff that has to go into the lockers. I've got stuff that has to come out of the lockers to go to storage. So the rental car is awesome. It is a Hyundai Tucson SUV. It went pretty well. It took me a full tank of gas to go from here, drop Zephy off, which is 10 minutes in that direction, and then go up to LA, which was that way, and all the way up to Santa Clarita to the country club, because I was on just under half a tank when I picked it up from the thing yesterday. So on the way up, I stopped and filled it up completely, and I'm back to just under the half tank again. So I'm back basically where I started my road trip today, at the exact same point on the gas gauge. So that was drop Zephy off, which is 10 minutes in that direction. The freeway's that way to LA, and then get onto the freeway up to Santa Clarita. From Santa Clarita up to where did I go? My mother-in-law's place, which is up in the hills, up in the hills above Sherman Oaks, and then from there down to here. So that was a great distance. And normally when I go up to LA for my mastermind group, it's like 252 miles round trip. So adding in all the extra bits that I did, and I got a full tank of gas, went through a full tank of gas. It's like, cool. I think I filled it up with, it only took me 10 gallons. So it must be like a 20-gallon tank, because I put 10 gallons, just over 10 gallons in there when I filled it up. So yes, it's around a 18, 19, 20-gallon tank. So, but it was a great day. I am absolutely exhausted. All that driving, all the catching up with everybody, finding the treasure box, the trunk full of family genealogy stuff, hearing a great book on the way back. So if you want to learn more about the Top Gun, the founder of Top Gun, go check out. I've got the link there in the description for you to go over to Amazon and have a look. It's a great listen if you're into audiobooks, because that's how I'm listening to it, and I usually listen to those when I'm driving. But apart from that, I am out of here. I am beat. I got to go to bed, get some sleep. Been up early, so I may do a little bit. I don't know. I think I've kind of got a second wind now, so I'm going to go do some organizing of stuff tonight, so that I don't have so much to do in the morning. But who knows? Maybe I'll just go to bed and read a page or two and then go to sleep. And of course, if I do that, I usually only sleep at most 6 hours a night. So somewhere between 5 and 6 hours is my regular sleep time. So if I go to bed at 9, 3 hours, another 3 hours, I'll be up like around 3 in the morning. I don't want to get up that early. So I might force myself to stay up a little like till 10, and then that'll put me like around 4 o'clock in the morning, and that'll be fine because I can get up and get a lot of stuff done at that time. Anyway, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. I am out of here. Can I go read some more of this one that I told you about last night, the one thing? I don't know. Decisions. I'm tired, and that's why I make my worst decisions. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Heck on era.